Alrighty, so
Recap.
that is the case. It'll be a very brief recap, being a .5 session, but still.
Yee.
So, the Talaria are currently preparing to make their way to Mary after receiving news from the Rabbit Hounds that, due to a contract that they had to make for their own survival, they would lead a individual from the city-state of Galero to the pirate capital, realizing that giving the location of the pirate faction's best-kept secrets was a bad idea. You decided to hatch a plan where you would head to Mary ahead of them and warn the crow's nests captains of the impending risk. After that, it would be a case of either allowing them in through the mercy of the crow's nests or meeting them out at sea, with one of the crow's nests being in attendance. But for that, you needed a ship. And as luck would have it, there was 2 ships in dock. One you couldn't use because it was Rabbit Hound's ship, and they would need that to take the delegate to Mary Libere, and another ship called the Algos. Thankfully, this one was free and available to hire, and through the use of the Aventori Trading Company, and through the negotiations between... My brain just blanked. Brad, what was your character called again? Was it Aryan?
Argent.
Arjun.
Like Argent, but without the T.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Through negotiations between Mevlair, Aki, and the representative for the Algos, Arjun, you agreed on a price and some arrangements, though you decide to take on the Algos without its crew, barring potentially the captain and Aryan himself. Arjun. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Aryan. So the search for a crew began, with Havlog making use of his connections to speak with 2 potential leads who agreed to get you your crew by the evening at the earliest. And so, with the remainder of your business concluded, that is where we left off. Now, Arjun, would you like to roleplay any discussion between yourself and the crew of the Algos?
I think we could do that.
Okie dokie.
Arjun, after his meeting with Mev and everything like that, you see him uh, weave through the streets, take his way back to the docks, back to the Algos, and he already sent a runner ahead of himself, thinking that he might have to go somewhere else first
Mm-hmm.
to see what was going on with Mev and everything, but obviously that didn't turn out to be the case. So when he gets there, he's going to glance between the people that are currently like loading and unloading the ship, making sure that it's to its specs, and he's going to go looking for what's the captain's name again? Let me open the document that you gave me.
Bali.
Captain Barley.
Bali.
Yeah.
Bali.
That's how I remember him, is that he's a slam jam.
Oh my god.
You do see actually as you approach the Algos that Frederick is actually sort of out in the water, just sort of like examining the sides of the ship that had pulled alongside the sinking ship for any damage caused from it. But
I'm gonna look over the side of the bridge leading up to the actual deck and be like, Frederick.
hey,
I mean, I'm glad that you're finally taking a bath, but I'm gonna need you to come up here for a bit. I'm going to be holding a quick meeting. It looks like we've got a job, but it's a bit bizarre.
Alright, well, fuck you first, Morris, but sure.
He gives him a quick salute and then walks onto the deck of the Algos.
Okay.
And he basically starts telling like any of our members that aren't really like basically telling like the deck boys to be like, hey, go get everybody, round everybody up for me real quick.
Alrighty. So the crews start going around and do that. If you're still looking for Barley, you head towards the captain's quarters and just sort of like knock on the door a few times. You just hear sort of muffled from the other side. Enter.
Captain, you see Arjun come inside and he snaps to attention in a not a militaristic way, but he he's stiff. He's obviously practicing some kind of attempt at the very least for politeness and like just some kind of etiquette almost. And he nods to Bali.
At ease, at ease. You can see it. You can see Barley sort of like going over a few like something in his ledger at the moment. He's just sort of sitting over at his desk, and as he just sort of like finishes writing down, he sticks the quill in the on the page and closes the ledger. Right. Well, seems like we've got some good news. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you received my note, but it is quite an interesting case. It's more like we're renting the ship out than we are actually running it. What do you think?
I mean, typically when they rent out something, it includes everything. It's not totally unheard of. After all, various trading companies might hire us to move stuff around. And from the looks of things, it's the Aventori Trading Company that is renting us.
Yes. Interesting set of circumstances, I find. I'm actually quite curious to find out the finer details of what might be going on, but at the moment, discretion's key. At the very least, I don't think we'll have much to worry about regarding the, he snaps his fingers a few times. The actual member of the Aventori's trading family that is coming with us, or the, he gestures a little bit. They're a whelp. We don't need to worry. No grand gestures of commanding us, it seems. No drastic measures. Doubt that they're going to be throwing their weight around.
Well, that's good, I suppose. What was the what was the discussions I was hearing from outside? Is it sort of like looks over at the through the open door and sees like some more of the crew gathering? Is this in regards to what you've sent over to us?
Yes. I was bringing the crew together to let them know that they have essentially a few months' leave. Paid leave.
Don't know how to feel about them with their own crew, but technically they're our employers, so I'm not going to say no.
I demanded that at least you and I stay on the ship. We can make sure that the ragtags are kept in line. He smiles.
I suppose. Though I wouldn't be against suggesting some of our own crew if they struggle to find their own. Specifically the specialist roles at the very least.
can talk that over with the people that are hiring us. If he gestures behind him and says, "I'm going to see them tonight to see inspect the people that they're actually hiring to take the place of the rest of the crew. So if anyone doesn't meet my expectations or my standards, then I will probably attempt to make a correlation there."
Of course, do you need me in attendance for the meeting, or are you well enough for
I'll be
yourself
on
on that
hand.
one? Alrighty. I might pop by either way to introduce myself. If I'm going to be part of the crew, I'd at least like to know the employers directly as well.
Makes sense. You're welcome to do so. Well, you're my captain. I'm not going to stop you anyways. But
I suppose maybe I'll come with you to begin with, introduce myself, get an idea on if there's any change in leadership roles or anything, and then once I've got that, I'll simply return back to the Algos.
he nods. I was also going to tell you one more thing that I wanted you to keep between us.
He sort of leans forward at this. Go on.
Once we get to our destination, I intend to stay while you go back. I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I have business to attend to. You may never see me again.
Unfortunate, but you're not the first crewmate I've had to say goodbye to.
Hopefully we won't be saying goodbye forever, but we'll see what happens. In
Uh,
any case, I just wanted to be upfront with you.
of course. I mean, you've got no contractual obligation keeping you here with the crew. You're essentially a free agent. If you decide you want to join a different ship, then who am I to stop you? Right, so stands up. So, I suppose we best get the full details out to the crew then.
Right, you are. Let's go.
Alright.
He turns to let everybody else know.
Okie dokie. So you basically give a summary of what happened.
Yeah.
There's understandably some anger, but it mostly goes off fairly well at the mention of paid leave. The overall, yeah, the overall mood is sort of a bit somber, but accepting of the situation, knowing that at the very least they're not going to be struggling for to make a living during this time. Some of the members do come to ask some more information, like who the person is that they've done that. Do they need any crewmates, etc. Obviously, you give as much info to them as you wish to.
Yeah. I'm not going to be telling them that I'm keeping the pirates bit down low for the most part because I don't know who individually of the crew might have a problem with pirates, especially after what happened not too long ago.
Mm.
But we're not going. I'm not telling them we're going to Mary Berry. We're going to be giving them the original course that Mev gave to us before she was like, "Okay, hang on, now we're actually going to Mary Berry."
She said that they were going to Yenta, which is an island off the way of Maryberry.
Yeah. And besides all that, he basically lets them know that Aventore is essentially paying for discretion more than anything. So the more people that we bring on from the Algos, the more it jeopardizes the pay that we're supposed to be receiving because are going to side eye us more because they don't want to keep more mouths shut.
Yeah. With that information, some of your specialists do sort of agree to essentially bow out. So, like, of those, Nevin, Archer, Nim, and Frederick all decide that actually now there's no point offering the services. But the other specialists are still like, well, we'd still be willing.
All right. I will keep them in mind, especially Nimbus. You seem to get the impression that he specifically has the idea that we're probably going to be needing a gunnery master.
Hmm.
He doesn't know how well other people handle those kinds of equipment, even if they are someone who's used to the sea.
Yeah. But eventually, a few hours pass. The evening comes by. Uh, you you notify Barley that you're about to head to the mermaid, and he just quickly puts on like a quick leather coat and joins you on the journey there. You mostly walk in silence as he just sort of like looks around at the city. You know that he's been here a few times, but it seems that this is like a home to him, basically. And eventually, the two of you enter into the mermaid. At this point, Mev and Havelock, the two of you are there as well. Everyone else in the Talaria has gone to deal with various bits of business.
Okay.
When you came down, the mermaid's got a lot of people in it, surprisingly.
It's surprising for how quiet it was just like a day or two ago.
Yep. Havelock, you can see sort of away in the corner, seven bloody lips are clearly arguing with each other. Or specifically, Bloody Lips is the one that's clearly raising his voice, where the Sev's just sort of like leaning back and just. Because of the volume of where you're in, you can't make out the words, but it's clear that he's not phased by Bloody Lips at all. And the two of you also notice as well Arjun come in alongside with another individual. This is a copper dragonborn. Looks to be maybe in his mid 30s. You can see that his copper is a much brighter and lighter complexion with bright emerald green eyes. You can see sort of like just under his leather coat, he's wearing a white frilled shirt with some black cloth pants. He's looking somewhat lost.
Yeah, I imagine like as they're waiting in the mermaid, just getting everything kind of settled. Everyone's been piling in throughout the last I imagine like couple of hours.
Yeah.
Mev's been leaned back in her seat, the chair kind of like standing on its back legs with how far she's leaned.
Mm-hmm.
With a drink. When Bloody Lips had come in, she like side-eyed Havelock a little bit of like, you got this guy. Okay. But when Arjun and Bali come in, her eyes like immediately snap to them, and she downs her drink very quickly, slams it on the table, and stands up. Over here.
Bali, come.
All right. Sort of approaches the table and just sort of like sits down.
Is this the captain that you were talking about?
Yes,
Bali.
Captain Barley. Captain of the Algos. So, like, reaches his hand out to sort of shake.
Mev will take his hand and shake it. Mevaler, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Miss Mervalaire, and sort of like indicates to Havelock, sort of asking for an invitation for an introduction, even.
She looks over to Havelock. How's Havelock looking?
Havelock is not even looking in their direction. He's keeping an eye on the rat.
My rude friend here, and she like swats Havelock's shoulder, is Havelock.
Mr. Havelock, good to meet you. I'm not here long. I just simply wish to meet with our employers and basically just inquire in terms of if there's any change in leadership.
Well, you're a little ahead of me. She sits back down. And while this seems to be like serious or professional, she's just got like her hands, like her fingers interlaced together, and she's setting her chin on that bridge. Her elbows are on the table. She gives a big smile. I'm... How do I put this? I'm surprised that you would ask. You are the captain, after all. You're not concerned about this?
The reason I ask is that sometimes when we are hired out, they want to put their own crew in, which means their own specialists, which mean they may inadvertently decide that they want a different captain. You know, some people trust in their own people, and I just simply want to make sure that I'm ahead of the curve, because obviously if I'm captain, I have to start looking into preparations for the journey.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't want to displace you, Captain Bali. It's your ship. You know it best. You know what it needs. But considering the type of journey that we are about to go on, she sets her hands on the table, sitting up a little straighter. I think it is rather important for myself to be involved with you.
Right, okay.
I know it is a little unusual, but if you were willing to be a co-captain of sorts with me for the time being, that is the kind of arrangement that I would prefer.
So essentially it's the same responsibilities as a captain, but shared between the two of us, yes?
Yes.
Sort of thinks it over. Then I think I only have a single question on, do you know the ins and outs of working as a captain?
You see her, like, inhale her chest. It's a very large rise and fall.
I don't mean it to make any offense. It's just simply for my own, so that I know that I can be confident in the co-captain.
I will admit, I've not run a ship personally before, but I have been essentially trained, groomed to be in such a position.
So essentially you've been, I guess, the equivalent of a first mate?
I have, yes.
That's good enough for me, then.
My my mother was a captain, is a captain. She intends for me to take over at some point.
his smile sort of like drops, and he just has a bit of look of like, make an insight check.
Oh boy. Okay. Because Mev said something that's a smoking gun. Insight. Oh my god. So
And
bad.
He's not particularly hiding it. It's sort of not so much like a realization, but it seems like he has an inkling of what you're referring to there, if
Yeah.
at the very least somewhat of a thread.
If she sees like the thread starting to show up, she will grab onto it and she'll say, "You are free to ask your question. I can see it."
Sort of like looks around at the at just the pub, and he's just like, I've just heard there are a few groups of individuals, so to speak, who have female captains. Granted, it's also not uncommon. Well, it's not common, but it's certainly not rare for there to be female captains for merchant fleets now, due to the actions of a certain ship. So, like,
But who would raise women to be that way?
So it looks around again. Look, it's no concern of mine if you are part of that group.
She clicks her tongue, and again, she leans back away in her chair, her arms crossed. What? Are you scared of the word? Come on. I'm not shy. And this is my territory, after all.
See, that's the question I was about to ask, if this is a safe place to talk about them.
More than safe.
Right, well, I have no qualms with pirates. I have yet to be harassed by any of them. And I can
She
see
just smiles, waiting.
And I can see, based on that, why you insisted on your own crew.
She looks at Arjun. You haven't told him yet.
He looks at Bali, and there's a note of disapproval in his face. He says, "I already told him that we were supposed to be discreet. That was." He pauses. "Something I didn't think should matter."
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't. We've been hired, that's all that matters.
Well. Yes, I am a pirate. And whatever woman you're thinking of in your head, probably the correct assumption. She gestures to Havelock, and then herself again, just want to get home.
Well, I very much hope that the Algos will get you there. And I can see now why you wish to be co-captain. Admittedly, I have zero clue where your home is outside of it's somewhere past the Coral Shield.
That's exactly the point.
Right, well, I have absolutely no issues then, and I have came here for what I needed to do, which is simply introduce myself and get an idea of our employers, though I can't see Mr. Aventore around here.
He's out at the moment, getting a couple supplies. You will see him very likely tomorrow.
Of course. When do we intend to set out then? Or is that tomorrow?
As soon as you're ready. Is your ship stocked? Supplied properly?
No, we only finished clearing out the supplies earlier today.
Get your quartermaster on it. There should be a fund for any equipment that you may need.
Do we know how much of this fund there is?
I did the math before.
That should have been in the note that I sent back to Bali in the first place.
Yeah, I think it was about 7,000, weren't it?
That's it. It's 7,000. Yeah, which is for like everything. So yeah. So his quartermaster should be able to divide that appropriately. Because I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math. I think it was something like there's like fucking 5,000 for supplies and food and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it is like crew and stuff.
All right. I will. He'll definitely have to be something that we will check in the morning, but I'm sure Dirge could figure out what we need.
Take your time. Gives us a bit of a chance to get to know each other. If I don't find people here, she gestures to the motley of people around her. Well, I might need to retain some of your crew.
At the very least, a few of our specialists have already agreed in advance that they would be willing to be part of the Algos.
I'd need to meet them personally if I had to make that call.
I can send them this way if you'd like.
She thinks about it. Glances at Havelock. Does he look like he has an opinion? Anna?
He's dead, Jim.
Her mic clicked, so she maybe just stepped away. She... There's just this pause as she thinks. She looks back to Bali. Why not? I can't see the harm in looking over them at least, and, you know, if they're a better choice than anyone I find either way.
Of course.
She shrugs.
Unfortunately, not all of the crew were in agreement. However, in terms of my specialists, I have Nimbus, our gunnery master, Kevrov, our cook, and Dirge, our quartermaster.
Yeah, she nods. Please, send them here.
Very well. By all means, search for your crew while they make their way here. I'm sure they won't mind the journey, and if the drinks are good here, then I'm sure they won't mind staying for a bit.
She looks down at, like, the empty glass that she has now. I don't know about good, but they're definitely strong.
Don't make Nimbus drink too much then. He's a bit of a lightweight.
Good to know.
Right. He sort of like stands up, just sort of adjusts his coat again, and just sort of
Yeah.
gives a salute.
She gives a very like playful, like mock salute back. It's not serious at all.
I will return back tomorrow afternoon with an update on our supply situation. Just sort of
Thank
like
you very much.
gives everyone else a respectful nod and just quickly leaves the building.
Mev sets her eyes on Arjun. So that's your captain, huh?
Yes, it is.
Thinks pirate is a dirty word.
That's not something I realized about him before now.
Come on, settle. Get a drink.
He looks over to like one of the tavern people and he goes, "Water, please."
Oh, water. Don't drink.
He shakes his head.
Boris just sort of, just makes a snort and laugh. Just reaches under, fills a tank with water and just slides it over.
Come on, Boris. What's worse, water or a milk drinker?
Uh,
Uh,
Look, right now I just got a lot of business today, so
congratulations. Say thank you.
yeah, just goes back to cleaning one of the tankards.
He's rough, but they all are.
I can imagine so.
So,
He Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
He looks over a little bit at Havelock, and he reaches out a hand to shake if Havelock happens to be here by now.
Is Havelock in the room with us?
My mother called wondering what I wanted for lunch. Back.
Alright. Yep, Bali left.
Okay.
Arjun is holding out his hand to you to shake.
Havelock is going to reach over and give a shake with a strength of 8.
Is it strength of 8?
A strength of 8.
It's not a bad handshake. Not a
Yeah,
great
that works.
handshake. Yeah.
It's respectable for a man you just met.
As you might have
Arjun
heard, this is
keeps it-
Havelock.
Yeah, he keeps it moderate. He just nods. It's a pleasure to meet you. It looks like we're going to be out at sea for quite some time together.
Pleasure to meet you too. Best way to know a man, you know?
He nods. He actually looks like he agrees with that.
Stick him trapped on a boat for a couple months, supplies dwindling down, see what happens.
Hey, you and I mostly met getting stuck locked into this fucking land.
It looks like she just like kind of cringes into herself, remembering all of it. This place fucking sucks.
You two have been itching to get on a boat this long, huh?
For months. Been completely homesick.
Every day I die inside, the longer that I am away from the ocean.
No. Mev
Well.
definitely has a nod of agreement.
The wait's almost over, at least. And the Algos will serve your purpose as well. That I can promise.
Thank goodness. She gets another drink for herself. So, where should we start? What are you looking for?
said trustworthiness. I didn't mean... He pauses, thinking for a second. Whoever it is we investigate today, who we talk to and essentially interview for this process, I just want to be sure that they would treat my boat with respect. That's all.
Have you ever asked your boat how it prefers to be treated?
Oh, she. Again, there's like a smack on Havelock's shoulder. He's fucking with you.
I'm not fucking with you.
What is Archon's face at this?
Completely deadpan.
Oh my god. Mev looks at him for a minute, like expecting some type of either confusion or laughter. When he sits there completely stoic, she's just like, oh, you're a tough one, aren't you?
Tough is subjective.
Don't smile much.
It's been a long time.
Oh, mysterious. Properly edgy.
So he puts his hands on the table, takes a drink of his water.
Water.
What was your specialization? What specs were you looking into for people that you were actually bringing on board?
The ability to be discreet if they've been on a fucking ship before. Any special skills that would essentially stop us from having to use your specialists. And frankly, if we know them. There are some people here that Havelock or I are familiar with.
I see.
People who are already familiar with Moa.
If we end up relying on the Algos specialists that appear here, I can personally vouch for them. At the same time, though, if problems do arise in some fashion with them in a social aspect, I can get a handle on them as well. So, even if he pauses, again, thinking, I haven't personally asked every one of them whether they think and something about pirates or not. But if they do, I can get them under control. And I can keep their discretion.
You have that much confidence in yourself? Just gonna insight him.
Yes.
11. Boo.
Complete confidence.
Tomato, tomato.
Alright. Then I will allow you the opportunity to prove your skills.
He raises a brow.
You claim you can put the rain on them.
I'm sorry, what'd you just say?
You claim you can put a rain on them.
He nods.
Yeah. And I think with that, she will basically start calling people over to talk to them, interview them, see what's up.
Okie dokie.
Sort out the pirates.
Yeah. So most of the those that have been selected here are common races. You do see one or two somewhat rarer races. The full number that you've got is vast majority of them are human. There's about 6 humans. There's 2 Goliaths, a half orc, a full-blooded orc, 2 halflings, a half elf, and then when it gets to the more rarer races, you actually see a Triton, a Siren, a Veldekin,
Oh, shit.
and 2 Warforged, though one of them looks significantly like skinnier and moves differently.
Okay, so they're different types.
Yeah. Have like you sort of approach 7 Bloody Lips who have finally finished their arguing. Seth speaks up first, like, well, I see that everyone's here.
I
So-
see that you finally finished yelling at each other. That was kind of annoying, you know that, right?
Well, blame the rodents. Anyway, I got you 12 people.
Get them lined up. We'll go down the list.
Alright, you say you need a navigator. Well, 3 of them said that they got some navigational skills.
I said I wanted a good navigator, not just a navigator.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't pick them if they weren't good.
Alright, navigators first, let's go.
Alright. He sort of like walks over to the orc, one of the humans, and the skinnier Warforged. And they also approach. The orc is a very like burly built. He's got his hair sort of his black hair sort of like tied in dreadlocks. His lower teeth sort of like go above his upper lip, and are almost like level with the bottom of his nose. But he sort of like bows deeply. If what's somewhat awkwardly usually sighs. My name's Arab. Yeah, he sort of like fiddles with his lips a bit, so like press it down a little bit. But Arab is my name. I've been navigator for a few ships for about 3 years. Been up and down the coast of Karmora.
Just so you know, I'm gonna be linking into these people's heads. Just to get like surface thoughts, basically see if they're bullshitting or not, kind of deal.
Okie dokie.
And I will just insight and everything.
Okay, yeah. Make a. Is that where the 22 was?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sort of read in the surface thoughts and with the insight. When he says 3 years, you do hear him sort of like whisper 1 year. But beyond that, seems like he's at least everything else about his credentials seems to check out.
Yeah, Mev will, because obviously I don't want us all to just sit and interview hell for like forever.
Yeah.
She will ask all of them, like, basically if they have only been on the shore of Kolmurdak or like the like trade passages here, or if they've actually gone out to sea before to like the different islands that are kind of nearby. any sort of like special,
If they've
any
gone
sort of
off the beaten path.
special. I'm sorry. Say that again, Brad.
You're checking if they've gone off the beaten path.
Yeah, if they've gotten off the beaten path, or if they've dealt with like rough situations
Yeah.
before.
So Arob, he
Thank you. I was
most
trying to find my words.
Arob makes it clear that he's only travelled up and down the coast of Karmora,
Mm-hmm.
so he hasn't gone like deep into the water. Rough situations. He talks about rough seas. The usual sort of like rough sea stuff. Surprisingly, is honest. Barring again like the length of time.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to hear that from like everyone, because this
Yeah.
will take forever if we go one by one.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just like I'm doing them in order,
Yeah.
just so that I'm not jumping between. So like this one says, this one says, this one says.
Okay.
So the second one introduced himself, a very pale human, blonde, sort of like, blondish hair that goes down to his like chest level. His eyes are a dullish grey. And he just introduced himself as Wolfram. I have been navigating for about 4 years, I would have to say. I've done trips to Arazar, and I've dealt with my fair share of bandits and vagabonds. Sometimes with, sometimes against. Reading the surface level forts, he seems to be telling the truth about the navigation. On the for and against part, you notice that the surface forts end on sometimes for.
Okay, so this guy's a little scummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he explains that he's made journeys to Arazar.
Okay.
And then the Warforged. Twiggy, I guess, is how his build would look.
Twiggy. Okay.
Like, where's the Warforged are like, usually like big, bulky, made of like wood and stone. This is pure metal.
Mm-hmm.
And as he moves, he almost moves like those clockwork, almost like a clock. Like it's very like juddery.
And juddery, rigid. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. But he introduced himself as, I am known as Duko. I am a gear forged from Gathero, but made my way over here about 10 years ago. I have been a navigator for 8 of those years. My experience involves sailing between Kolmordak and Ansor, although I have made the journey to Arazar a few times. I have dealt with creature attacks and pirate attacks.
Oh, shit. I can't get into this guy's thoughts, can I?
Make a...
Oh my god.
Make a wisdom check.
Fuck. 9.
So, you connect to where you think its brain is. And you sort of almost like feel like static sparks and clicks a lot.
Yeah, Mev like winces and just immediately cuts that connection.
Yeah.
Fuck. Ow.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, sorry. Just a headache. I'm listening.
Very well.
But yeah, she and some will continue and like when things are settled, does like Arjun have any questions for them?
Arjun largely asks whether he basically one of the first things he asks is whenever they mention their experience, he says, "Do you have faith in that experience?" The first thing he says is like, "Do you think that's going to serve you perfectly well on this?" Even if you say you've got 3 years, even if you say you've got 8 years, Arjun is asking like, "Do you think that this is going to be just another trip to you?"
Aerob replies with, well, I mean, I think so, yeah? Wolfram says, I mean, I don't doubt that it probably would be the same as a regular trip, but we could see some surprises. And Duko simply responds with, a journey's never set in stone.
He nods. With
I'll
Wolfram.
be right back. My food got here.
Yep.
With Wolfram, he says, "You said with and against bandits and vagabonds. Why?"
What do you mean? It's. I
Is that
join a
not the case?
crew.
Is that because you had no choice? Is that because you really needed the money, or is that because that's the way you like to do things?
I like a bit of enjoyment, a bit of danger, you know, but sometimes I like things to be a little bit on down low, you know, so I switch depending on how I'm feeling.
Go with your mood.
What did you say there, Mev? I didn't quite hear it.
She was muttering that like he goes with his mood.
Mm-hmm.
Seems she's making a note of that.
Those are the questions that Arjun asks, but you see Arjun looking over at Mev repeatedly throughout the process, like just giving her looks, testing, checking her just as much as he is making observations of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that like he's trying to like analyze her or like get a gauge or whatever?
He's trying to get an idea of what she's thinking about them too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, something that I think Arjun will find very quickly about Mev is throughout this whole process, she is very good at keeping her face nondescript. She's always got this grin specifically where she is showing like a lot of her teeth. Notice like the little like front tooth gap kind of deal. And it reminds you of just very cat-like. But that expression really does not change while she's talking to them.
Okay.
Seems she's good at keeping up appearances. But when they have like dispersed, Mev will finally speak up. What are their names again?
So the three navigators.
Duko, Arab, and Wolfram.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think there's pros and cons to each.
Arjun looks over and says, "I would trust either Duko, that would be my preference, but I recognize that there are reasons not to take him. Arab might be our best bet entirely on the basis that he's malleable. He's looking for experience, and he is likely to listen because he is relatively new. He's the most honest so far. And he
He
says
did
that
lie
when
about
he's
his experience, but it's expected of a green.
He nods. What do you think? 2 years?
One, actually. She smiles at him.
Well,
You know? There we go.
Hello.
he thinks for a moment. How well could you... If our navigator failed at their duty to navigate, how well do you think you could get us back on course? At all?
Give me 1 second.
And just as a reminder, you've still got if Bloody Lips has brought a navigator or not.
Alright. So. Well, did he say that he did? Like, because we will check.
You'd only approach Sev, but if you want to check, Bloody Lips can see. You can ask Bloody Lips that he's brought one.
Okay, well, we'll finish this conversation first, and then we'll ask.
Yeah.
But can you just repeat your question, Brad?
If our navigator fails to navigate, how well do you think you could get us back on course? Do you know anything about navigating well enough? Do you know where we're going? You've been to Mary LeBerry, right?
Many times, and I've taken this course many, many times. I am confident that Havelock and I could compensate for any shortcomings.
You're essentially asking us, do we know the way to our childhood home? We know.
And yet you fought this hard to have a navigator included in the people that are being hired on.
You always need a good navigator.
Even if we know the seas can be fucking messy. Plus, we may need to change course if the Third Fleet is out and about.
I see.
It's a shame. I liked Wolfram until he started being a little too honest. She looks at Arjun, kind of seeing like what he thought.
I would take Wolfram, but then I would probably have to stab him at some point.
That's exactly what I was thinking. We're looking for trust and discretion. I'm not exactly sure if he has it.
Shakes his head.
And I don't want the Warforged. As much as I don't have anything against them, they can keep things in their head for much longer with greater clarity than a person.
I don't also trust anyone on the ship that's not going to have to sleep at all. No offense to Warforges. They're just unnerving.
Warforged technically sleep. They power down, but they are aware of their surroundings while they're asleep. So you
Yeah.
can't really kill one in its sleep.
Move grins at that. I think you're right that currently Arab is the best choice. As you said, malleable, and if we keep on course, Havelock and I can compensate.
We're in agreement so far, then.
Locke, can you see if Bloody Lips got anyone?
We approach the rat.
Okie
We
dokie.
approach the rat!
Yeah. He's sort of just like gnawing on like what's just like a bit of wood that he's just had in his pocket. He's just like
Yeah.
stuffs in his pocket.
Bloods.
Mev,
Nice to see you again.
nice to see you too.
She specifically makes a bit of a show of like she's got her satchel at her side. She turns it inward.
Oh,
So
you
that
have
the
no.
opening hugs her hip.
Oh, come on! We're not in the build robots. What do you take me
When has
for?
that ever stopped you?
So I have 7 crew members.
Oh, only 7.
Yes, well, this little person that sort of points over at Sev, who just gives like a sly grin, took most of them.
You knew you had competition. Why didn't you do better?
It was only able to find one that could be a navigator.
Yeah. Bev nods. She leans down. And where is this person?
Oh, she is. So like, what quickly runs over to the siren. You can see that she's to everyone else, she's appears to be a feathered individual with like dark blue feather that sort of end in lighter blue at the tips, and Bloody Lips just sort of like tugs at the feathers a bit, and she's like pulls her hand away. There's a bit of a hushed conversation before she's brought over to all of you. As you approach, she does look a little bit meekish. Just sort of like is sort of like rubbing her hands together, just as a sort of comfort. For comfort, it appears.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there. My name is Sun. I'm not a navigator in the sense of that I've been on a ship, but I have often brought my children to the various shores in and around this area. So I know the seas quite well.
You would know where you're going.
Yes, I've had to lead my children here and there to larger islands, small rock outcroppings, to the depths if needed. Of course, this was swimming under, moving under my. Yep. This was under my own strength as opposed to on a boat, but as I say, I believe I could translate that to being on a boat.
Have you ever been to Moa?
I tend to avoid areas that are populated, but I know of the islands that both the island of Moa and its sister island to the south.
Yeah, she nods.
Though I'm aware of ships, not being able to go as high up as I would be able to, so I'm not 100% certain on getting around the coral shield, as you call it, with a ship. But I believe I could figure it out based on one of the routes that I may take.
Do you think you can keep up with the ship if you were to fly or go underwater?
No, I don't think I would. I'm relatively quick, but not only is a ship faster, but it doesn't need to rest like I do.
Would
I'm
you be
not
comfortable
asking
doing?
of hmm?
But
I'm not asking if you could do that for long periods of time. More so if you needed to check where we were, would you be able to go up and come back?
Go up and come back, yes. The ship may need to slow down a bit, but I could.
Okay. What were you saying, Havelock?
oh, I was just going to ask, would you be comfortable scouting ahead if the ship slowed down to match your pace?
Yes, of course.
Alright.
And you said you have children, correct?
They have come of age and set off on their own now.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Mimsling side eyes Havelock for a second. She looks to Arjun, see if he has questions.
Arjun looks unimpressed.
Okay. Oh my god, Azalea. Honey. I don't know why she's freaking out. Alright. Yeah. Then Mev will thank her and head back to their table to discuss. Well, what do
Havelock
you
just puts
think?
his hand on the table. I want her.
Why? Because she's cute.
No. She may not have a lot of experience, but there's promise there. And she's a mother.
There it is. She looks at Arjun.
I don't like it. She
Don't
wouldn't
like it.
know how to give directions to a ship that needed to be avoiding something like the coral shield, like she said. There was too many options where there were periods she had to say something to the effect of, I would figure it out.
Yeah, Mev nods. I agree. If we were ever in a moment where we needed to quickly move, she wouldn't know what to do. It's simply not the type of inexperienced we can afford.
How much is their pay?
I think it's like a silver a day, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Silver a day.
Then I'll take her on my own pay.
Havelock.
In addition to who we picked.
You can't just keep her as like a pet, a
Not pet,
novelty.
on board training. Give her more chances in the future in case she wants to continue this type of work.
What do you think of that, Arjun?
He thinks. The crow's nest exists on a ship for the purposes of being able to see from a high vantage point. If we have someone who can quite literally fly above that vantage point, it's nothing but gain for us. especially if she can scout ahead at times where we're not sure whether or not there is something like an ambush waiting.
So
Aside from
rather-
attempting to be a navigator, she has reasons to be around.
So rather than a navigator, it should be a scout.
He nods.
It's a good idea. Though I don't know how I feel about setting this precedent, Taplock. If you're going to do this because you're so instantly enamored with her, this is your one.
I know this is my one. But I'm putting my faith into this.
I don't think you're putting your faith into it. I think you're putting your heart into it.
And if you know she needs to die for whatever reason, I'll do it.
There's a
There's
click.
no heart, it's faith. Yeah, click. What are you clicking?
Yeah, the click of her tongue.
Okay, I thought we were doing a mental click. I'm like, boy.
Fine. If you're that insistent and if you're paying for her personally, she can come on as a scout and gain experience. But I'm not
You-
doing this again.
You see a little flash of something in a Havelock's eyes. His lips twitch like he wants to say something, but he's not going to.
If Mev just sees that, she's definitely gonna say, "Come on, spit it out."
A nymph would give a woman the opportunity.
She fucking her jaw just drops for a minute. Fucking the nymphs would give a woman an opportunity if it's something that they could afford to do. They don't just take them on because they want a mommy. I
Very
shouldn't have
bold of
asked.
you to assume I want a mommy. And I'm doing it because I can afford it. You did say the nymphs would like me.
She rolls her eyes. Shut up and stay in line. Fucking a fucking brat.
Arjun
Yeah, Mart.
looks over at you and says, "What's this about nymphs?"
She reaches over to her drink, takes a sip. How familiar are you with pirates' crews?
I've met a few.
You familiar with the Nymph's Needle?
I've heard of them.
My mother is Camilla Gatlin. She is the captain.
I see.
So, I am a nymph. He's making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
So he says.
If I wanted to make fun of you, I'd take a shot at your height. Might miss,
Or
but
my
you know.
accent.
Oh, we
Hmm.
love your accent.
Yeah. What is Arjun's expression? Do I need to insight him?
You're welcome to if you want to.
Okay. Oh my god! I have had one good roll today.
This is what happens when we don't go
Fucking
to sleep until 5 o'clock in the morning!
God! Sucks. Sucks.
He looks relatively stoic as he was before. It seems more like he's thinking about things for the time being.
Hmm.
He looks over to Havelock. He says, "Have her name was Sun, right?
The siren?
Yes.
Yes.
Have Sun learn from Arb. You might want to treat this as a situation where we're trying to gauge Arb's skills by having him teach her the basics. It'll keep him on point too."
Refresh his memory.
He nods.
Well, you heard the man, Havelock. He's got good ideas. Go tell Arab and Son that they're hired.
Havelock's gonna pick himself up, give each of them a pat on the shoulder, and head over to the bar to purchase 2 drinks. Bring them back to the new people.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you tell Arab that he's that he's got he just sort of like looks at his and just goes, yes. You well, you done, boss.
Yeah, keep that enthusiasm. You got someone else to watch out for too.
Son's just sort of like looking over this around his head. Can I hug you, please?
Oh my god. She has
Bring
to
it
hug
in,
Havelock
Mom,
of
come
all
on.
people? Oh my god.
I'd say Havelock
Bring it in, Mom. Come on.
just gives you like a gentle hug.
We have
Mev.
a drink check.
Plug in.
Glitch.
Which just as well, because obviously they didn't mention height. She's actually taller than you, Havelock.
She is?
Yeah.
Yeah, sirens are huge.
I'm
She's-
6'4".
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
wish the
Sorry.
mother. Oh.
Yeah. She's literally a head taller than you.
Okay. There's as she's watching this, like Mev's like leaned against the table. There's a shake of her head as she presses the drink to her lips, but she's smiling. She looks amused.
Arjun looks at her and says, "Does Havelock do something on the ship aside from hugging sirens?"
You mean fucking them?
He rolls his eyes but nods.
I can't believe our resident siren's done this.
Yeah. You know, I'm not sure if he's going to sleep with her. Quite honestly, he may just want someone to cuddle with. He's soft like that.
My question stands.
Havelock has just about as much experience as I do on a ship. Put them
Arjun
in
slowly nods.
any position. He can do it.
A little bit after this, Arjun, you notice the 3 members of the crew who were still on board with taking part, Nimbus, Kevrov, and Dirge. They sort of all come in together, and just sort of like look around, and as they sort of notice you, they
Yeah, he raises his hand and greets them.
he sort of approaches. For Mevin Havelock, you can see one of the individuals is a male fairy. dark skin with black hair and grey eyes. He's wearing a grey tunic with some white cloth pants that are stained with soot. He's got a yellow sash, which you can see sort of dangling out of it is a few fuses. Over one you see is a slightly tanned half elf. Has a bit of an in progress baker's build. He just seems to be wearing some like worn brown slops. And then you see a relatively like mid 40s ish half orc. His skin is sort of like an evergreen color. You can see he's wearing a red overcoat with some baggy black pants. He compared to the others who are sort of just sort of like more casually, he is sort of standing up straight. With sort of my brain's dying on the word here. Not so much like a like standing like with authority, but I guess it's standing with confidence. And he's just like,
Okay.
excuse me, please seats taken. Sort of like indicates to the standing tall. That was it. Thank you, Nate. So
Have a
yeah.
seat.
These are your people.
That's right. This is Dirge. He points to the half orc, Kevroth, the half elf, and Nimbus, the fairy.
Nice to meet you all.
Pleasure to meet you
She
yourself, boss. Well,
she eyes the fairy.
what? What's the problem?
I'm not sure if I should give you my name. I've got
Ah,
experience.
oh, that old stereotype. If it makes you feel better, weren't born in the Feywild, so
I'm mostly playing. I've just got the friend that likes to fuck with me. She's the fairy. Um,
oh, one of those people. Ah,
I'm Mev. Nice to meet you all.
Nimbus, Gunnery Master.
You're the gunnery.
Yeah, did the pants not tip you off? What was it? The fuses.
That's, I just thought, maybe it's not him. That would be a little on the nose.
Ah, nah, you got me. I'm actually the surgeon. These for soaking up blood. No, I don't do good with that. Kevorov sort of she's up. I'm the cook. I kind of self-explanatory. I guess I cook.
You feed the crew and make sure that they don't go fucking nuts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty important job.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Just again. I'm the quartermaster. I was given the values of what we have to spend with, so I'll need to do some calculations about that. If I'm still part of the crew, of course.
All right. Arjun says that he can vouch for you all. How long have you all been working together?
Collectively as a single crew, I want to say 6, 7 years, though we've all had various experiences. I've been sailing ships for at least 14 years. Nima speaks up. Truth be told, my first gig was here with the Algos. I've been here those 6 years. So, yeah. Kavarov speaks up. 8 years for me. I worked on I sort of jumped between various fancy merchant ships, but joined the Algos after 2 years.
Yeah. Mev takes a seat across from them. Since Arjun has vouched for you, I don't really think I need to pry about your experience. What I am concerned about is your discretion and personal opinion, personal bias. How
Right,
much has he
okay.
briefed you on this?
I gave
Mostly.
them as much as I gave Bali.
So they don't know.
He shakes his head.
Alright, well, let's rip off the band-aid. They even have band-aids in this universe.
I mean, technically they have souls.
Yeah. I'm a pirate. She just chose to have luck. He's the pirate.
Hey.
We're going to marry the berry.
Nimbus's eyes light up.
Aww.
Yeah, Nimbus's eyes sort of like light up at that. Kevrov sort of like looks around at the other two. Dirge, stoic as he has been.
Alright. I'm gonna roll insight. Average. Alright. At least it's not under.
Mm-hmm. So, who are you inciting and in what regards to?
Stoic boy. I'll also be obviously clicking into. Actually, I can click into all three of them at the same time.
Yep.
Speedrun.
Yep. So, with Dirge, it's as I say, he keeps it very stoic, but just sort of like listening to his surface thoughts. You sort of hear in his head, sort of like, heard of the place, never been there. That'd be an interesting place to visit. See how they do things.
Okay, curiosity.
Kevrov is like, wait, isn't that the? I mean, okay, I know these guys are like pirate sorts, but Mary, what's Mary LeBerry?
Be right back.
What's
I
Mary
need just a second.
And for Nimbus, you just hear like, holy shit, home of the pirates.
Okay. So nothing particularly negative, just wow.
Yeah. You basically get curiosity from Dirge, confusion from Kevrov, and joy from Nimbus.
I think Brad stepped out for a second.
Yeah, he did.
If you'd like, we could like just take a quick break. Tea break.
Sure.
I put something in the squared box for.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Will Mev emotionally recover from this episode?
Okay. So, let me remember where we were. Right. We had enthusiasm, curiosity, and confusion. And even though they haven't like said much of anything, because Mev's been getting all this in her thoughts. Usually, I mean, as I just said with Arjun had noticed that she's very good at hiding herself, but she just like snorts, almost trying to hold back a laugh for a second before covering her mouth. She's giggling. Oh my god. Nothing has been said. She is laughing to herself.
Don't worry, she's slightly insane. She
Oh my
drinks
God.
seawater.
I'm not insane. I'm sorry. She looks to the trio. Just your faces. They're very expressive. Well, not you. And she was it Dirge?
Yep.
Dirge.
Yeah, that was very stoic. But you two.
So I've heard a lot of things about Mary the Berry. Lads, I heard the stories of the Pirate King and all that stuff. Wow. Wow. That's
Wow.
that's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that what you've been talking about every now and then, Nimbus? Like Pirate King's home or whatever? Why is it called Mary the Berry, not Mary Libre? It's
Oh my God! I will fucking end you, Tom. I will end you, okay?
that was
Don't
more of a
you dare.
that was more of a
Sorry.
that was more of a jab at myself than anything else.
Can you have it repeated? My brain stopped working for a few seconds.
Why is it called Mary LeBerry, not Mari Libre? Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom. Why
It's on
is that?
site. We're gonna fight. Let's go.
Because
Come
whoever named it is clearly an idiot. It's clearly not very is not very culturally adept.
Peach, I'm picking you up. We're getting an actual boat. We're gonna fight this man.
All right. Continue.
And it's just like, I've heard of these, of this city. That's all I know. I've heard of it. Nothing good about it, nothing bad about. Well, you hear the bad about it all the time from, well, Karmora, talking about a place full of cutthroats and murderers. Personally, never believed it, so I've simply heard things of it.
She sets her hand down, revealing like the smile on her face. The cutthroat part is half true. There are people there that might stab you in the back if you have a loose tongue. But for the most part, Mary LeBerry is as much a home in a city as this place is, as any town is on the mainland.
Well, of course,
There are-
if the rumors were true, then the city would have, been abandoned years ago. Gotta have some form of order, right?
She nods. I'm glad to see there isn't anything particularly negative in your perspectives, at least so far. But the more heads that I add on, the more mouths I need to make sure are kept shut. Are you all particularly good with discretion? Do you think that if you were asked about this, you wouldn't gossip?
I take my duties very seriously. If part of my duty is not to speak a word, then I don't speak a word. I mean, I know how important the Mary LeBerry is, so I I'm not putting the telling things on my head. If that makes sense. Like, I'd rather not be known as, hey, there's Nimbus, that guy who sold out Mary LeBere. Nah, not my thing. I'd rather keep my mouth shut about it.
Okay.
I mean, look, if admittedly, I don't have a good sense of direction. I don't think I would be able to even direct them. Hell, I'd probably end up getting them all the way stuck at Opana or something like that if it was me. But, I don't like the idea of what would happen if I did that, so I think it's easy if I just said nothing.
Again, just throw another insight. I'm particularly like Nimbus. He seems he seems like he would definitely be like, man, you'll never guess where I've been, kind of deal.
While there is excitement, you can tell from the like on the inner fort Nimbus, you hear him just go like, it'd be really cool, but really bad if I said anything. Really cool, but really bad if I said anything. Maybe I could say it to... No. Definitely, no. No, I don't want that on my head. No. Not gonna... Mouth shut. I can do that.
This part of our contract would go on indefinitely. I'd expect you to keep your mouth shut permanently.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. If anything, I can just... Nah, I can keep my mouth shut. I was thinking maybe I could weave it into, like, you know, talking about the tales of, you know, because they say tales of, like, Pirate King and what Mary the Bear is like. It's like, oh, you know, it had this and this and this, but, you'd probably want me to just keep my mouth shut about it, won't you?
Yes, both for my sake and, frankly, for your own.
Oh, trust me,
If you guys are chatting about it, you'll have both pirates and the Zamahan guard wanting your head.
Yeah, as I say, I personally don't want to be known as the person that told them where Mary the Berry is, so I'm just keeping my mouth shut. Yeah, I'll just remember the memories is all. Well, hell, who knows? Maybe I'll stay there. Then I can talk about it when I'm there. Dojo peeks up. It's like, as I say, I follow contracts to the letter, and I will. As in, I will keep my mouth shut, not I will tell.
Yeah. Mim starts tapping her fingers on the table, listening to each of them.
I mean, I wouldn't even know what to tell them, so probably easier. I spend most of my time below deck, so I wouldn't even know.
She looks up to Arjun. I'll ask one more time. You're serious?
I am. I've traveled with these people for a very long time. I trust them.
I've not seen or heard anything that would make me concerned. I have no qualms with them. You may stay.
And it just like rubs his hands rapidly in glee.
I actually have a request of you.
Oh, yeah?
You have a carpenter on board. Someone who maintains the ship.
We do, but he wasn't interested.
It's a shame. I was hoping that at the very least we could get someone familiar with the inner workings of the ship to maintain it.
They sort of like both look over at Dirge. I'm not very adept with carpentry, but I can, at the very least, try and keep an eye on the maintenance of the ship.
Are you fine with taking on that extra task? Would you need helping hands?
I would need helping hands, yes.
All right. Then I would simply ask that anyone be able and willing to help as needed.
If I may ask, are there any in your group that might have potential in assisting?
She looks to Havelock. Me or Havelock, we are familiar with a ship and its maintenance. She actually, like, takes out her tinker's tools. I've done some maintenance work myself, but I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it. She thinks, kindling is good with wood. I'll ask him.
I will take any help that we can have. If anything, I could be... Even if they're not confident with it, I could be an advisory role.
Yeah. She nods. Sounds good. Then I suppose the only pressing matters are getting enough crew to assist in various jobs. Miscellaneous, if you will. And a surgeon.
Is that the designated role that we're missing, then?
It is?
Could you tell me who is in what of the specialized roles? I will need to make sure that I know who to approach in regards to certain things.
Molly and I are going to be co-captaining because of the uniqueness of the situation.
Understandable.
She gestures to Havelock and then actually Arjun. I would argue that these two, again, because of special circumstances, first mate, gunnery master, cook, quartermaster. She points to each of them. She gestures over to Rob. Navigator, gestures to Sun. Scout.
Interesting. So then that leaves us needing a surgeon.
Just a surgeon.
And you don't have any yourself in your group currently?
The healer that I do have is inexperienced and neurotic. Scares easy. Someone's got the fucking harpoon through them. I don't think they could handle it.
Dutch sort of leans back. I might have a few contacts of my own. I will take the circumstances of this into consideration, but I might be able to get one or two friends who might be interested.
If you can get them here within a day or two.
I'll approach them while I sort out our supply issue. I know what our budget is, and might be able to narrow it down while I'm doing that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He sort of like just looks over the others. Well, I'm not sure about the rest of my companions, but I'm heading back to the Algos. I want to get a head start on what we need. I suppose the question I will ask, Captain, is specifically in terms of food.
Mm-hmm.
Since that will be the most important yet finite resource. Are we looking to keep them well fed? Are we looking for a balance? Are we bringing livestock?
Do you have a garden on your ship?
We do, yes. So like looks over at Kevrov. Yeah, it's not particularly big. The Algos isn't a big ship, but we do have a garden.
She nods. The healer I mentioned will be able to assist with that. I would get enough food to maintain a balance and livestock with that. And particularly, and I know this is unusual, but try to get quite a few seeds. He's a druid, so we may not have to worry about getting produce as much as getting things to make produce.
Right, so based on that, enough food to at least keep them fed, and then add on livestock and seeds on top of that, yes?
That's correct.
Right, okay.
We'll need enough for at least a month and a half.
At least a month and a half. Right. And then I will look at supplies like cannonballs, repair stuff, and anything that we have left. I will come back to you and see if we want to increase on food stores. But I will deal with that myself. I will come to you once I've got that alongside the 2 potential options for a surgeon.
Sounds good. You're already very promising. She smiles.
You see like a small smile creep up before he goes back to his like stoic view. I shall get started on it. What about you two? Kevrov just like stands up. All the same for you. If it's about food, I want to be involved in this too. So, have a go.
Fair enough. It's your domain.
Yeah. Nimbus is like, oh fuck that, I'm staying. You kidding me? What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say to you, Dutch? Oh, we need these many cannonballs. Cool. Just see what we've got currently.
He wants to stay and join the party.
Oh hell yeah! You're gonna miss us out.
She shrugs. That's what you want to do.
Oh hell yeah! That's what I want to do. Fine. Just don't come back drunk. Or at least too drunk. The 2 of them just sort of wave their goodbyes and head off, leaving just Nimbus with the rest of you.
She waits for a second, make sure that they're gone. She's gonna buy Nimbus like 4 drinks.
Yeah, he just like sits there. It's like he's just like again rubbing his hands, not super quickly, but just rubbing in anticipation. It's like Arjun, you might need to carry me back.
Show me what you're made of.
And he just starts drinking them.
Oh, all right. then after that, obviously, we will just start looking for like the miscellaneous crew, the people that do a lot of the like manual labor on the ship.
Yeah. So, that would be. So I'll just move a Rob out of that list and move Son out of that one. So, in terms of the individuals that they've that both Sev and Polylips have brought on, you have around. God damn it! It was in my head already, and I already lost it. 2, 3. You have a choice of 18 crew in total. Or 18 people you can pick from, including, if you still wish to bring them on, Wolfram and Duco.
Yeah.
We need a minimum of 15, right?
Yeah, but that includes specialists as well.
Oh, that includes specialists.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on.
Because
One,
the
two,
specialists can
three,
also
four, five,
double up
six,
and
seven,
do
8.
miscellaneous duties as
Yeah,
well.
so we're down to like 10, needing 10 people.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm eating. I'm not concerned about the other navigators. Mev said she didn't want to Warforge, and Wolfram, whatever, is suspicious as fuck.
Okay, so just knock those out completely.
Yeah, knock those out completely. For the miscellaneous, obviously, same kind of questions of what's your experience, blah blah blah. That's not really important.
No.
Mev is gonna try to get at least 15, just because she doesn't want the crew to be completely spread thin. Like, we need 10, but having like an extra 5, I think, would like really help.
Okay, so
that's just what she is going for. Yeah, she wants people to be comfortable.
okay. So for 15 crew, you would have to put on either Duco or one of the Warforged, because they make
Okay.
because especially or have Wolfram be part of that too.
Okay.
So it's down to you on that one, on which of the 3 you'd want: the regular Warforged, the Gear Forged, or Wolfram.
Okay. Then, because Mev really does not want the Warforged. Like, she's had good experiences with them before, but this is not the time where she can afford like their mapping talents.
Mm-hmm.
So she is just gonna get like as many as she can outside of that list. So what is that, like 13, 12?
14.
13? Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So it's only one of them.
Yeah. So if you don't want Wolfram, you don't want either of the Warforged, you're gonna get 14 total.
I think that's good. That's good.
Okie dokie, which means what would that bring your total number up to? So you're not having a cabin boy, cabin girl, so including that one.
We don't need it.
6, 7, 8, 9. So you have a total crew of currently 23. Obviously, you're short a surgeon, but
Okay.
because you've got, I assume you've got all the other specialists.
And obviously we've got us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm including
Okay.
you in that as well because you're
Yep.
obviously filling in specialist roles, and I had to add two because you've got a co-captain, co-first mate.
Yep. So,
Yep. So
okay.
currently you have 23, which means that you can afford 8 casualties before you go under minimum.
Great.
Hell yeah.
So, that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, and then we're gonna get that surgeon, which will bring it up to that 15 that I
24.
wanted.
Yep.
The 24. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yep, that sounds good. I think at the end of it all, Mev gets anyone that has been picked gets a drink. Obviously everyone's like sitting, chatting, having a good time. She's gonna make sure that Bloods and what was his name, Sven or whatever.
Yeah. So Blood Lipson's and Sev.
Sev. They get their payment, whatever Havelock promised them.
Mm-hmm.
She will just settle for the day and look to Arjun when everything's said and done. So, what do you think?
I think we're good to go. At least for the most part, other than that surgeon.
It's definitely a critical role. I hope the people that he finds are good.
I trust Dirge on that front. He knows people.
So, she because I'm eating, and say that she has something to eat. She's picking at her food a little bit. You've been with these people what? What did they say? 6 years?
Been together that long. I've been around for less.
Where were you before?
What was that place called? I don't know all the places off the top of my head yet.
You're referring to like the city that's
No.
no.
Hang on, let me find it. I know which one I'm
Okay.
talking about. General? There it is. There's the map.
The map!
Yeah, he looks thoughtful for a moment. Then he says, "Was mostly in the Arazar area."
And Rizad from the desert.
He nods. It wasn't where I always lived, but it was a place that I went to for some time.
So, what does that mean? You've been traveling the sea for a while?
He nods. I've been back and forth. I've been wandering, I suppose you could say.
She nods. Were you always a Well, there is a Corthan master, so you're not that. Diplomat? Ambassador?
Usually I was I guess you could call it mercenary.
Sellsword. Yeah, she nods.
down at his sword at his hip for a second, then he just says, "No ship that I've been on has been successfully boarded. At least not for long."
She slows her eating, stares at him. That's a bold claim. How many ships have you been on?
"5.
And none in the last, let's say, 10 years have been
Said
boarded.
at least not for long." He smiles a bit.
Got to save your skin. So, you're not just a contract person. You, when you're on the sea, you provide defense.
That's right.
What do you do? Or how do you fight?
I know my way around the sword, around the dagger.
Lots of people do. I'm asking specifics.
He looks up for a moment like he's trying to think of how to explain this as the best he could. "I exploit people. My enemies very well. I find the gap in their defense and I take advantage of it."
There's a look of recognition. Okay. And judging from what you said, you're good at this.
He nods.
Care to test that?
He side-eyes you a little bit.
Just a friendly little spar. Show off your skills.
Sure. Why not?
She stands up, sets the food aside. I imagine there is some place for us to properly spar, Tom, that Mev would know of.
There isn't a designated area, but you know roughly where people will just move the tables and chairs away to form a bit of an arena.
Okay. So there is an arena in the mermaid.
There isn't an arena, but there's sort of an impromptu one that people just say, like, yeah, we'll just use this.
All right. Yep. Then Mev will snap her fingers. Boris,
Yeah.
I want to spar.
You know, rule, no killing, don't break shit.
Can't promise the breaking, but I promise I'll pay for it.
Damn right you will. Let me see. Ooh, I can actually finally reuse something that I made a while ago. So, this isn't exactly, but it's at least looks nicer than, nothing. So
Yay!
this isn't, as I say, this isn't exactly the mermaid, but it'll do for the purpose rather than just white screen. So...
Oh my god, Roll20, I wish that you would run properly.
Yeah, it's having issues right now. So people move like, stuff to the side. Sort of, so things are just scraped to the side here. I don't want to grab that. There we go. Leaving you with just not a ton of space, but enough for what you want to do.
All right. Mev will. Let's say she's here. Oh, what the fuck? Why did it move her?
I sort of, it was just because of it was
Rude.
being-
Rude.
I don't know. I can't tell when you grab it. Yes, it will be, Nate.
Okay. So, I don't know what's worth roll 20.
It
I know
is having issues right now.
I think it was recently updated, and it had a DDoS.
Yeah, it was
Like,
DDoS
2 days ago.
yesterday. It was
Yeah.
DDoS yesterday, so it might be having a bit of a hard time right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Oh my god, the initiative! You have +5? Fuck.
The duality of decks.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've got a -1. Almost -2.
Okay. Well.
Fucking can't use my fucking +1 glaive either.
Yep.
Alright. Then yeah, technically it's a -2. Mev takes a what did forgive her? Spear?
Yes.
Yeah, Mev takes out a spear. In one hand. She gestures to Arjun. Whenever you're ready.
When you say, whenever you're ready, you're practically on the Y syllable when he's at your face.
Woo! Alright, go ahead.
Alright, so first we're gonna start by punching her in the head with the pommel of my sword.
Ah! Okay, that hits.
Huh?
Why does it con save? Oh,
It
okay.
is a technique of mine.
Okay. So, I need to roll con?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my god.
You're stunned. With his bonus action, he's gonna use disarming parry. You roll at disadvantage for this strength save.
Holy shit. What do I roll? Strength. There we go.
I disarm you.
What? Oh my god, okay.
We'll roll
Fuck.
sneak damage real quick.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yeah, so there's just like a flur of motion. And next thing you know, you're seeing stars. You don't have your sword you don't have your spear anymore.
Oh my god!
It's your turn. You're stunned.
I'm
So-
stuck!
It goes back to my turn.
Holy shit!
Wait, doesn't that thing use a superiority die as well?
No, superiority is for
Why is that so loud?
Oh my god. Okay. Hit me again. Hit me again.
Is that a hit?
Yes, that's a hit. Holy fuck.
And sneak damage. And we'll use a bonus action dagger. That's a hit.
Oh my god.
7 piercing. I can't use sneak twice in the same turn, so it's your turn.
For the record, this is not homebrew whatsoever. This is generally like an actual thing. It's an actual class.
Yep, no.
Oh my god.
I built this under your specifications, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, give me a second. Holy shit.
Mind you, this
Okay.
is all entirely like as good as it could have gone for me. So
Okay.
This was literally
Okay.
best case scenario.
So, one, I want you to know there is a history of Mev sparring with people and her beating their asses.
good.
In effectively one turn, you have dropped me from 70 to 16 health.
That's right.
Holy shit. Fucking.
Also, I'm really glad that the gift worked on my sneak.
Mhm.
So, yeah, this is a brand new press. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, so. I'm stun locked right now.
Okay, so
There is-
let me narrate this for you.
Yes,
You
yes, yes,
said,
yes, yes, yes.
Ready when you are. He darts into your face, smacks you upside the head with the pommel of his sword. You're discombobulated. Your ears are ringing. Your eyes, your vision blurs. He smacks the fucking spear out of your hand to the ground, and then he slashes you again, and then takes a step back, does a flourish with his rapier, and waits for you to do something else.
I think fucking Mev is just so disoriented for a second. She starts to like come back into focus. She looks at you. She looks down at her hand and just looks up at you again. Holy fuck.
He raises his eyebrows, gestures with his sword to himself. Is this going to be all you're needing from me, or are we going to continue?
Oh my god, he beat her ass. Okay, first, she. Yeah, Tom. I'm thinking.
While you think, Brad,
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think you would have been able to do disarming parry alongside pommel.
Oh, you wouldn't have?
It says here you can spend prowess once per turn.
Okay,
But-
so I'm not disarmed.
Yeah. I get it because
Disarm
techniques.
part of my second attack, because I had her stunned, and then
Mm-hmm.
on my second turn I would have had prowess back, so I would have just swapped out that attack with the one on the next turn.
Yep, that's fine. Is that fine for you, Peach?
So.
Okay, do I need to make any
Punch,
adjustments?
Yeah, not really.
Nah.
Punch,
Okay.
normal hit, and then disarm, and then normal hit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he
So-
he just switched up the orders. That's all. Yeah, I totally get it though, because techniques says it's per attack, but then you use prowess, which says only once a turn.
Yeah.
Put Valkyr behind this motherfucker, please.
Okie dokie. God, I know it hasn't been moved about, but because I've changed the icons, it's thrown me off. There we go. So, you feel the presence of something behind you. It's almost like something's just appeared behind you as opposed to walking in. You sort of like look over your shoulder and you can see this large, burly man just completely wreathed in shadow.
She is going to even though she is like up, and it's clear that like it's obvious you have experience. If you did that again, she probably would not stand. She's still going to get a hit on you though, or try to. I would like to use fucking where is it? I'm looking for it. I would like to use Unleash Incarnation and attack with Valkyr. So that'll be 4 attacks
Okie dokie.
All right.
with this spear.
Mm-hmm. And advantage as well, because flanking.
Oh god, okay. I'll do
Just-
4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okie dokie, so we'll just have each... So, first one hit. What's your AC, Arjun?
17.
17,
Let me
so...
just read
hit.
these real quick.
Hits.
24, 17, 23.
All 4 hits.
25, yep.
All right.
So, and we'll use the damage on the higher one. So,
Yep.
7 piercing plus 8 piercing. That's 15, 20, 29 points of piercing damage.
And then because this guy is like gonna fuck her up, she is going to use Action Surge. She's gonna use the Unleash Incarnation again.
Okay.
So
4
I'll roll
more
with advantage
attacks.
this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 4 more attacks. Do I get a bonus action with that again?
You still have your bonus action, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait,
My summon echo takes my bonus action. So
Oh.
I'm
You
asking
don't get a
if
bonus
the
action back.
It's
regular.
only
yeah, only
action?
the regular action, right? Yeah,
Okay,
I forgot summoning Valkyrie is a bonus action.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Then 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. All but the last one. So let's see. That's
Let me check here.
14. That's 18 points.
This time I'm going to use Wall of Flashing Steel.
Wall of
Use
Flashing
2 prep.
Steel.
Here I'll copy paste it this time. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! It just closed it.
Yeah. Well, doesn't that use prowess again?
Yeah, but it's once per turn. It's not my turn anymore. This is a reaction, so I'm.
So
if
he'd
it
need
was
to
once per
wait.
round,
Yeah.
I would have to wait if it was once per round, but I can do it as a reaction.
Fucking.
So I can basically just possibly raise my AC up to 25.
What?
Well, that's only for one
This is an
attack,
roll
isn't it?
attack.
That's it.
So,
For one
yeah, it's only
attack?
for one attack. So,
So-
I'm gonna
Okay.
prevent one of the spear attacks from hitting me. One of the the 24 basically.
Okay.
So the 23 and the 19 still hit me.
Okay.
Okay, so that's still 14 damage then.
Okay. So.
I was thinking like, oh yeah, oof.
I think. Is that all Mev can do? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so you kind of just get stabbed from both ends by Valkyr and Mev.
Yeah.
But at one point you sort of
one of the attacks,
at one point you sort of swing your arm behind your back and it collides with the spear, knocking it to the side. But then you get a stab to the stomach and then a follow-up stab to the back.
Those hit. I want. Where's the other damage, Brad?
That's 8 piercing plus 13 sneak.
Oh, I thought you hit twice.
Not yet. I was rolling my dagger next.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to use
18, so it might miss.
that hits. No, just hits me. I want to use deflection on that sneak. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll d6.
Ooh!
Yeah!
So
Drops
you
it.
take 8 plus 7 plus 9.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
20.
more than 16.
That's 24.
Okay. Then yeah, you holy shit, Brad. She, you know what, just go ahead and describe what you were gonna do first.
After being skewered from both sides by you and your echo, Arjun basically fails to avoid a lot of the attacks solely because of the fact that he didn't think he was gonna get jumped from behind him by a second person. But when he realizes what's going on, he basically just slaps one of the spear attacks aside, and then he whips you across the face with the flat of his sword, and then flips his dagger upside down and pommels you in the stomach with it because you're not trying to kill each other. And that last hit to your stomach seems to either crumble you or knock you back.
Yeah, she definitely as the final hit actually makes contact. You see almost a whitish to orange shimmer pass around her, almost like a barrier, mitigating just some of the damage that you were doing to her. But she still gets knocked on her ass, and she just she looks up at you and goes, fuck, holy shit, I yield.
Arjun is looking over his shoulder at Valkyr, just curiously, but then he looks back to you and he says, "You fought well. I wasn't ready for what you pulled out of your pocket there."
I wasn't fucking ready for you.
He sheathes his blade.
Yeah, she's on the floor, starting to laugh. You fucking got me. Barely more than fucking ships. Fuck.
He steps over to you and he offers you a hand to stand up with.
Yeah. She'll take his hand, stand up and just slap him on the back a couple times. You're fucking good.
I try.
Oh, fuck. God, that fucking hurt. She rolls her shoulder, rubs where the pommel hit her in the face. It's enough to fucking concuss me.
I'm sure another drink will fix it.
Good point. Boris!
Yeah.
Danke. She smiles at Arjun. Arjun, meet Valkyr.
Hello.
Hello, Valkyr.
Valkyr is my echo.
He pokes Valkyr.
I think you just passed right through him.
Yeah, he's just like,
Yep.
okay, this is neat. You have some interesting tricks up your sleeve.
Oh, I've got even more. You just didn't give me the time to show them. Kicked my fucking ass too quick.
It's all I can do. If someone's going to ask me to show my skill, I'm going to. Well, I'm not going to hold anything back.
She nods in agreement. I appreciate that. And be offended if you took it easy. Man. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to get you back.
He raises an eyebrow, but he just nods.
Man. You know, I don't think anyone's knocked me on my ass that fucking quick since I was with my mother.
That sounds like a compliment if I've ever heard one.
It is. My mother's a remarkable fighter. Could probably put you down in 5 seconds.
Interesting.
And that isn't just me exaggerating.
I believe it. Pirate captains aren't a joke.
That's right. You sure you don't want to drink for your victory?
I'm positive. He raises his mug of water.
I don't mean to be rude when I ask this. Was that a personal thing, an alcoholism thing?
The latter. He drinks the water for a minute.
She nods. I won't offer again then.
Thank you.
Just want to be sure how much is appropriate. I'll tell Havelock to back off too.
He looks around, wondering where Havelock's gotten off to, what he might have thought about what was going on.
Where is
Havelock
Havelock?
has been watching quietly, drinking.
Does he look impressed, upset?
He is staring.
Come on, Locke. Quick, glaring. Speak up.
He's good.
He's more than good. He's fucking great.
He's good.
Havelock isn't quick to praise anyone but people who have tits.
That's too bad. I left mine at home.
So did Havelock. She's got this fucking devil smirk on her face as she looks at Havelock.
Havelock's gonna throw the fucking tankard at you.
She reflexively moves out of the way. Payback, bitch. Yeah, that's right. Fuck you.
Ways.
Say shit about me, I'll say shit about you. She sits, and again, just takes that very relaxed posture. I'm gonna be feeling this for fucking days. Yeah, go ahead.
He drinks some more of his water and puts it down. He says, "It's getting a bit late. Should probably start getting ready for disembarking. Maybe tomorrow."
Maybe. Sure you don't want to stay and enjoy the good mood?
"I could remain for a little while longer." He gives you a tight-lipped smile.
Hey, don't force yourself. You don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. I
"It's
won't
the
judge you.
atmosphere, that's all." He looks around at like where everybody else is having drinks and getting drunk, and he looks like he's probably, after asking him about alcoholism,
Yeah.
and he said yes, it's probably a hard time for him.
She looks over the surroundings. She gets up. Why don't I go with you and we can hang out elsewhere?
Sounds fine by me.
Sounds good.
Have luck.
You want to come with us?
Of course.
Maybe we could go to the docks. You could have a bit of a swim while we talk.
Fair enough. All right, let's go.
All right. Then we will go to hang out that night. Mostly just idle chatter, having a nice time.
Mm-hmm. Righty. Okie dokie. So that's cleared up. All right. So I guess if that's the case, what are you thinking players-wise? You want to keep going a bit more? Do you want to call it good? Have we got what we've wanted to get done?
I think I'm happy with that. I think we're good to go.
Yeah. And we
again,
could handle it. No, go on you first.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, you first.
Oh.
Sorry.
If anyone had like shopping stuff that they needed to get done, I know that like Anna had something that she wanted to do. Then like we should do that real quick. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and with Dirge and the Surgeon stuff, we can sort of quickly speed through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's down to what you all want.
What's Anna doing?
I'm good. I'm down for just a nice in-game night of hanging out with Havelock and Arjun.
I guess see what Anna
Anna?
says at this point. Anna?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Now we can hear you.
Havelock basically just wanted to head out to the shops and pick up some new clothing for him and Mev.
Okay. The more traditional kind, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Like casual clothes?
Mhm.
Ooh, that means that I can have that outfit that I posted.
Yeah.
So you have to go to several shops to do it, but it's manageable for you to do to get all the various bits and pieces that you need. Cost-wise, let's go with... How fancy are you going with this?
Hold on, I have a picture.
Yeah. Peachy has a picture in mind. It's casual clothing. It's nothing too great.
You say that, but this is Mo in fashion. I should found an outfit that I really liked from Mev last night. So here, it's in the square box.
Okie dokie.
And this would be considered casual.
So I'd say, obviously, given all the different colorings and textures, etc., etc., for the both of you, let's put it at about 4 gold, because it's a lot. It's more of the how the stuff is with all the different pans and such than it is the quality of it. So we'll go with 4 gold for, so 2 gold each.
Fair. I shall pay that. Easy
Okie
peasy.
dokie. Alrighty. So if that's the case, Nimbus eventually makes his way back to the Algos under his own power. Surprisingly, he you do see he does try to fly there, but after
No.
smacking his head a few times on a few signs and such, he just walks.
Good.
Get denied the joys of flight.
For now. But if that is the case, then yeah, you partake in casual conversation and eventually go your separate ways to prepare for the next day of your adventure. And so we'll call it good.
Yay!
Seriously though, what the fuck was that damage, Arjun?
Say the line.
And that's what we're going to call it for this session.
Thank you!